Hello, everybody. Scott Golden here with the Golden Opportunities Coaching YouTube channel. Welcome to those of you who are new. Welcome back to those of you seasoned veterans of what we do around here. What we do around here is bring about conversations of a psychological, emotional, and mental health paradigm, coaching paradigm. We try to do that as often as we can, usually several times per week, sometimes daily, depending on my schedule. But anyway, if you're looking for ways to kind of overcome toxic relationship patterns, which is a lot about what this particular audio is about, or you're just looking for a way to make your life better overall, would love to be of service to you in that way. Can do that for you in any number of ways. Would love to be connected with you to be able to be of maximum service. There's a couple ways you can do that through Twitter at PO Perception or in the About Me section of this YouTube page. Either way, you can get in touch with me through there and would love to be of service. Please subscribe, like, and ultimately connect with me where you can. You'll either connect with me or a member of my team, and then we'll get going on making the rest of 2021 and into 2022 the best time it can possibly be. So, what are some signs that you may be dealing with a manipulative person? So the first thing is they become intimidating when challenged, but for the most part, they try to appear docile. So if you can, begin to look at the idea that a manipulative person is always controlling the image they put out, and they're always controlling how people see them, then they are focused on creating that vision of how they're seen and how things come across to the best of their ability. It doesn't necessarily even have to be a good thing. It's just they understand that when they begin to connect with people and they get into kind of understanding the pattern of what scares somebody, they can use that to their advantage. So manipulation emotional state is one of the most important things for a manipulative person to do in general. The next is there's a core belief that all humans are evil, or that they are an elitist, or they are better than others. So a person who's balanced understands that there are in fact some evil people in the world, and that avoiding them is probably a good idea. And they also do understand that there are some in fact lazy people in the world, and they understand that kind of trying to help them if they don't really want help can be a frustrating experience and a bad idea, but at the same time, they still believe that there are good people in the world. A manipulative, narcissistic, or self-centered individual, on the other hand, though, is going to try to make themselves a class above the rest of the world. This is because the idea that they know more, are more, have more, or can be more is a way that they use to control other people. If a person is intimidated to stand up to them because they come across as an elitist, then ultimately the challenge becomes they're never really, they're never really connecting on a deeper level with an actual relationship that really matters. What they're connecting with is a perception. And perception often becomes reality, but the beginning to understand that perception is a matter of control can also be beneficial for anyone who's interested in looking at things. Next is they'll embellish stories. What they're trying to do is see what you'll buy. So if the stories they tell on a continual basis always seem extreme or outlandish, chances are they're probably at least some level trying to manipulate your emotions. They're trying to find out what your soft points are so that they can use them for a later purpose. Many of these people do this unconsciously because it's something they learned either from their parents or other previous generations or in relational experiences. Many people that are manipulative, it's a learned trait, and someone actually has to point out that they're being that way, because many of them don't know. There's a good number that do, but there's a vast majority of people that manipulate for survival and don't realize that they're actually coming across or behaving in that manner. The next is they constantly need control, and when they lose control, their attitude changes until they can regain control. This is not necessarily that they are always looking for ways to angle, although in some way they are. Passive-aggressive nature and the attempt to look as though they're peaceable, but using language in such a way that they carefully word things so they look like they're trying to be innocent or basic, but in reality they're trying to get a reaction. They also understand that the act of using people is justifiable in their own mind for a number of reasons. They don't see what they're doing as morally or emotionally or mentally incorrect. They have justified every situation that they create, and therefore they look at other people who accuse them as someone to be defended against rather than the level of connection being something that they can learn from and grow from. So the next thing is, they understand that being feared gives them power. And so if a person is feared, then they will eventually get what they want from another person. So understanding how to manipulate and use fear and control fear can give a person power on any number of levels. And the last thing in this particular audio that I want to discuss is the idea of talking in circles. So if a person uses double minded language, this but that, ultimatums, black and white thinking to where there's no shades of gray, and or they don't move from an opinion virtually ever, this is a sign of manipulation as well. So hopefully this is helpful. I encourage you to keep your feet on the ground, your mind in the moment. Till next time, everybody.